What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my podcast. And there's a reason why I want to talk to you all about why I believe Power Rangers is in for a bright future in 2025. Because right now, what's going on in Hollywood with the writer's strike and the writers, actors, and any other company that is dealing with unpayments and all of the craziness that is going on in the industry. But I want to specifically talk to you all about what I've learned throughout 32 years of my life watching TV, movies, and entertainment, and why I believe in my own knowledge is that I believe time is indeed for change. So to me, I've always looked at Power Rangers in a different way because I've noticed throughout the years it has been through its ups and downs in terms of the productions, the writer staff, and yes, it is cheap because that is what Power Rangers is known for since 1993. But there are times where I feel like they have money to go on a bigger budget in order to step its game up to represent good entertainment television for new and younger audiences. But Power Rangers has always been for kids since 1993. And I was 2 at the time when the show came out, but I wasn't a fan until the mid to late 90s and early 2000s. And that is where my love for Power Rangers began. But this time around, I do believe that under the hands of Hasbro, things are looking for a bright change in terms of stepping away from the Sentai for a while just to test the waters out, as you could say, to see how this franchise plays out in terms of them not using Sentai footage to match the locations in the United States, even though New Zealand does look similar to Japan in terms of rock quarries, the cities, the parks, any other place that looks very similar to Japan's locations in terms of filming fights and all of that. But I think when you look at Beast Morphers and Down on Fury, there were more original footage being used and less Japanese stock footage being used on those seasons. And I think that was a clear sign of them going all original when it comes to using original footage and being an original TV show without using a Sentai. Not like you adapt the Sentai, but without using the stock footage. And then again, this is what made Power Rangers famous in the first place, of them using Japanese stock footage, because you want to be able to match their Sentai counterparts when it comes to the suits. And believe me when I say this, American suits don't really shine unless you're in a different location. But in Japan, the suits are very shiny, to say the least. But you know what? I think when it comes down to the suits and Comic-Cons, I've seen mostly the suits being shiny, unless you can create your own original TV show, but have the suits look shiny and bright like how the Sentai looks, but make it look like it's filmed in Japan. You know, you could just be 100% creative with your work. And so what Once and Always did, they did everything original by staying true to the source material when it comes to the Zords coming out of their hiding places. It was nostalgia being done right, but it was done differently when it comes to Min Trini's daughter becoming a Yellow Power Ranger, and how she became a Ranger by doing what her mother did by sacrificing herself to save Billy, and that's what Min did as well. So if you look at Down on Fury Season 2 and Cosmic Fury, it's all original, minus the Megazord footage. It's clearly a Sentai footage, but most of the stuff is all original. Now, if you could just go into this Jonathan Entwistle project for 2025 without using the Sentai footage, Lord knows it's going to be different, and it's going to feel strange to those who grew up with Sentai and Power Rangers merging together. I mean, I get it, it makes sense, but when you think about it, it's been time for a change. We don't need to see any more comedy duo, no force crap being forced down our throats. But I'm gonna give you my example of what I found from Google last night. So, of what the Jonathan and Twister Rangers could look like. Now, if you look at this image, these look like the original Rangers, but different cast and actors. But some of them look like the original actors: Jason, Billy, Kimberly, Tommy, not really, but Zach is way different because of the afro. If you can somehow manage to reboot the Jonathan and Twister's Power Rangers like this with these suits, but I would have also add the lips to the mouthpiece, because you want the Rangers to be recognizable. So that is what I would have done if I were to be rebooting the Power Rangers, if I were Jonathan and Twister. But these are just some of my fan ideas, but I know not all of them are qualified to make it. But I've also found some good examples of what the Zords can actually look like in terms of making it bigger to fight the monsters. Like for example, for the Tyrannosaurus T-Rex, if you look at this image right here, this is what the 2017 Tyrannosaurus should have looked like. Instead, they just made them look like an alien dinosaur wannabe with laser blaster on his arm. But this is what the dinosaur should have looked like in the 2017 movie. Although I like some of these ideas, but these are based on the early designs for Zyuranger before the final design. And this is the Mastodon. This actually looks like a Mastodon that should have been added in the 2017 movie, but it looks kind of green and black at the same time. Maybe it's because of the lighting, I'm not sure. But all of this work, fan art, was being done by Tokyo-J. Like I said, go shout out to him. He is an amazing artist. But I've always wanted to use some of these examples as well. And the Triceratops Zord looks like a Triceratops Zord from this right here. Unlike the 2017 Tricerazord, this looks like a Triceratops because it's much faithful to their actual dinosaurs. But like I say, these are based on earlier designs for Daijujin before the final product. And the Zords itself look good, but the Megazord itself looks kind of iffy in my honest opinion. And lastly, this is the Saber-Tooth Tiger Zord. Now this one looks like a Saber-Tooth Tiger. Now Mastodon and the Saber-Tooth Tiger are not dinosaurs, though at the same time they still exist in prehistoric times, if I remember correctly. But these are just some of my examples of what I believe could work in the Jonathan and Twister project if the CGI would have looked great and the guy in the costume would have been much better. But getting back on topic, I just want to say that throughout 30 years of being a Power Rangers fan and looking back at Mighty Morphin Season 1, it was all Zyuranger footage. I really appreciate them for creating and giving us something that the fans can remember years from now, because we all grew up with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. We all grew up with Season 1, and we watched Zyuranger, even though it's not the perfect Sentai because of the kid plot episodes. But I do believe in change going in the Jonathan and Twister project in 2025. You know, you can always make the American suits look shiny and bright, whatever you're fighting in a different location, to match Japan, but make it similar, but don't try to do too much of it. You know what I'm saying? But to me, the reason why Power Rangers went downhill was when Saban brought it back from Disney and gave us Samurai the most mediocre season of all time because of his bad acting, and a watered down version of Samurai Sentai Shigenshire. Though I like the Japanese counterpart a bit better than the American counterparts, because they gave Jaden, a white man, a Japanese last name. It doesn't make any sense. But why didn't they cast an Asian Red Ranger for the Samurai season that can give him a good example of Jaden Sheba? An Asian actress to play his sister, that would have made perfect sense. That would have been a perfect casting. But from then on, it went downhill after downhill, bad seasons after bad seasons. And I think that was a sign of Saban giving up on Power Rangers. And Ninja Steel showed us plenty of that. It gave us plenty of reasons why we shouldn't be supporting the Neo Saban era. Even though Beast Morphers is pretty much the Hasbro era, but it felt like a Neo Saban era because Saban was still present at the time. But Dino Fury, even though it felt like Saban had some influences in terms of the fart jokes being used still, but thankfully in Cosmic Fury, they have every and all control of what they can do with the show. All original, no fart jokes, no filler, no comedy duos. It's straight to the point, by the book, and by the point. And that's what we've been wanting since the Neo Saban era. No talking about fighting, just change is good. It can be good or bad, but at the same time, I feel like change could be good if done right. And so I do believe the Power Rangers future is looking bright in 2025. You know, I believe in hope, I believe in fairness, and I believe in good quality in TV. And I think the Jonathan Influencer Project is going to give us all of that.